Let me share a midrash with you. A midrash from this week's Parshat about Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was facing a problem that has faced rabbis from the time of Rabbi Akiva until today. Rabbi Akiva's students were falling asleep in his shiur. Can you imagine something like that? The students were falling asleep and Rabbi Akiva wanted to keep his students awake. And he set them a riddle. He said to them, do you know why Esther Hamalka, was the queen over 127 provinces of Persia? And he explains, she was in charge of 127 provinces in Persia because of Sara Imenu, her great-great-grandmother, Sara, wife of Abraham Avinu, who lived for 127 years. As we're told at the beginning of this week's Parshat Chayei Sara, Sara died at the age of 127. Sarah, 127 years. Esther, 127 provinces. The students heard that, and those who were falling asleep finally woke up, the excitement of what Rabbi Akiva had to say to them. What is this midrash? What's the midrash telling us? How is it that they were falling asleep in the shiur of Rabbi Akiva? And how does this riddle about 127, how does that wake them up? Well, let me share something with you from the pre-tzaddik, Rav Tzadok HaKomi Lublin, and he explains, why do we fall asleep? Do you know what makes you fall asleep? Do you know why you are tired every once in a while? I mean, you're tired because you haven't slept. But sometimes even when you have slept enough, you're tired. We lose attention and we doze off when we feel that what's being said has got nothing to do with us. When we feel unconnected, that's when we start nodding off. That's why, if you want to wake someone up, you wake them up by calling their name, because they hear their name immediately. You're talking to me, this is relevant to me, I immediately wake up. But when I feel it's unconnected to me, that's when I nod off. So the students of Rabbi Akiva were learning wonderful ideas in Torah, but they were wondering to themselves, what's this got to do with me? I'm learning these ideas, but they seem so far away from my life. And because ideas were so far away from their lives, they were nodding off. They felt unconnected to Torah. So what was Rabbi Akiva doing? Rabbi Akiva was reconnecting his students with Torah, telling them that these big ideas are related to them. When Sara Imenu died at the age of 127, and Esther learnt about that story later on, when she became the queen over 127 provinces, she remembered that number, 127. That's not just a number, that's not just a history lesson about Sara Imenu, but that number exists in my life too. Torah isn't something which is far away from me. The link is something that links even to my life today. Rabbi Akiva, in a very superficial way, was sharing a very deep idea. He gave them a 1-minute example. The number 127 becomes relevant in the life of Esther Hamalka because of her great-great-grandmother, Sara, who lived for 127 years. But the idea is much, much deeper than that. And the idea is that Torah has to be relevant. In order for me to have a relationship with Torah, I have to find a connection. It's not just lofty ideas in the air, but it has to impact my life. Rabbi Akiva gave a almost trivial example in order to wake up his students, and then when they were awake he could continue teaching them Torah. But the principle behind his idea, the importance of Torah being relevant, that idea is a critical idea that we need to take with us. If ever you get a little bit dozing, if ever you're falling asleep a little bit, if sometimes you feel detached from Torah, it's your responsibility to search for the connection. And it's only when it's relevant, it's only when it's speaking to you here and now, only then will Torah become important and significant in our lives. So my blessing for all of us this week, Parshat Chayei Sara, is that we should search for that relevance, because the more relevant Torah becomes for us, the more exciting and engaging it will be for us, and for all who learn with us. Shabbat Shalom U'Mvorach.